Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help everyone enjoy games in depth. Through the previous few Brim Down guides, I've introduced to you skills, devotions, and gears. Such knowledge, especially monster infrequencies, can help you easily get through early camping. So in this video, we'll be talking about some tips for late camping. Let's first have an overview of the entire progression routine of Brim Down. So there are 3 difficulties, basically New Game plus 0 to plus 2. After you finish the main campaign of the base game or normal difficulty, the 2 higher difficulties will be unlocked at the same time, which means, theoretically, you don't need to do any DLC content. Also notice that the Elite and Ultimate are unlocked together, so theoretically, you don't need to do Elite at all. In each difficulty, the entire quest line is reset. DLC 1 quest is unlocked after you finish the base game campaign, but notice that DLC 2 is unlocked once you kill the Warden. Generally, right now, the heavy burden of doing main quest is largely lifted. You no longer have to do the entire campaign for 3 whole times. Furthermore, once you have a character at endgame, all future characters can start directly at Ultimate, further lifting the burden. Of course, practically, you still need to run the quest a bit to collect something like shrines, resistance, and reputation. This will be detailed next. From the point forward, this video will be mainly based on the experience after you finish normal base game campaign. If you are still prior to that point, feel free to turn off this video and check back later. As you move from normal to elite, one big change is that your core resistance will be reduced by 25%. By core resistance, I mean the resistances shown at the first row of your character sheet. So the first camp preparation to make is to further cap your resistance under this penalty. The first method is to collect and use gears with high resistance. As you go through the campaign, you actually don't need to pay too much attention to damage bonus, but resistance matters a lot. So after finishing the base game campaign, you can start to collect gears with high resistance you come across. All gears, ranging from yellow to epic, can all be considered as long as they have high resistance. Again, I want to remind you that damage bonus doesn't matter. The second method to cap your resistance is to use components, basically gems that can be inserted into your gears. Usually, this method is taken after you have already equipped all the gears you have collected, but still have some resistance uncapped. All gears, including weapons, armors, and accessories, can be inserted with resistance components. As for exactly what components you have access to, you can use the build calculator function of Grim Tools to search for components with any desired resistance type. And note that some components need to be crafted with the help of a blacksmith. Commonly, the first 2 methods are enough for elite. Your goal is to cap all resistance, but there's no need for overcapping. As you move from elite to ultimate, resistances of both 2 rows will be further reduced by 25%. So you need to make use of the third method, augments. Similar to components, augments are magic that can be applied to your gears. One augment and one component can coexist on the same gear, making augments a good way to get more resistance. But different from components, augments can only be purchased from faction merchants, and every faction has its unique augments with different effects. To look for augments with any desired resistance, again, make use of Grim Tools build calculator. Let's see an example. Currently, I have acid, piercing, and vitality resistance uncapped, so I can search to know if there's any suitable augments. Then I can find that Homestead provides a weapon augment that gives me piercing resistance, and Devil's Crossing gives you accessory augments for vitality and acid resistance, so I can go buy them to cap my resist. As extra notification, augments usually have relatively high character level requirements. Among them, base game augments have lower requirements than DLC augments, and augments for weapons and accessories have lower requirements than those for armors. Basically, you need to reach at least level 50 to unlock access to base game, weapon and accessory augments before you go into Ultimate. With faction merchants being mentioned, it's time for faction and reputation. You can consider reputation as a special type of experience, as shown at this page. Green means friendly factions and red indicates hostile factions. Here we care more about friendly factions. The higher rank your reputation is, the more items will be unlocked at corresponding faction merchants. You can gain reputation of the certain faction in 3 ways. The first one is to do story missions, aka the main and side quests you have been doing. This is the most important way, giving you lots of reputation income. The second way is to defeat enemies of certain factions. For example, Homestead hates beasts, so killing beasts gives you Homestead reputation. Trash mobs gives quite low but non-zero reputation, while elites and bosses give considerable reputation. However, the second way is unlocked only after you have unlocked one faction by doing its story mission. If a faction hasn't been unlocked yet, killing enemies won't give you corresponding reputation reward. The final way to gain reputation is to do bounty quests taken from the bounty tables in faction bases. This is usually used when you are very close to reaching the next reputation level as an emergency method. If you don't know where to find your bounty target, simply input its name to the monster database of Grimtooth to see its spawning spots. With faction being said, there's one more thing you need to know, which is special quests that reward you skill or attribute points. You can max out your total skill and attribute points only when you have obtained all these quest rewards. As for exactly what quests need to be done, simply use the checklist function of Grimtooth. Then you can Google the quest names online to know their details. In the end, let's have a refined version of the progress route with all the factors above considered. First of all, after you finish the base game on normal, you'll need to do DLC content on normal. The goal is to unlock all factions so that you can gain reputation when killing monsters in the future. You can also exploit this time period to collect gears with high resistance. Afterward, you'll need to finish most part of the base game campaign on Elite. This is to acquire all skill and attribute points rewards on Elite. At the same time, this will also give you some base game faction reputation, unlocking necessary augments for ultimate preparation. There's no need to actually finish the rest part of the base game campaign, and no need for DLC content either. Lastly, you'll need to go to Ultimate. The primary goal at this stage is to collect skill and attribute point rewards, and the secondary goal is to max out DLC faction reputation. At the same time, you will eventually reach level 94 when you can unlock access to almost all the gears in this game. At this stage, you can call yourself in the early endgame. So that's all the tips for late campaign progression. For the next video, we'll be talking about early endgame progression, a very important topic. If you want to play games into depth together with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.